Oh, that's chill.
Oh no.
No, the helmet. Oh, shit. We're fine.
Hey.
The
No
helmet's
bad
falling
words on the
apart.
podcast.
What?
No bad words.
I don't care. You can swear if you want.
Welcome to Pulp Diction, the podcast where I talk about movies with my friends for an academic obligation. And I took notes, just in case.
Notes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying here.
Don't worry about it. I watched the film last night. Did you rewatch it?
I did rewatch it.
Wonderful.
I did, yes.
Okay. Who am I here with today?
Should I say first and last name?
Do what you want.
I'm Alannah Simmons.
I'm Dylan Gibson, your host, as per usual. Welcome back to Pulp Diction. Alannah, what are we discussing today?
We're talking about the most epic movie ever, Surf's Up.
Surf's Up,
Yeah.
Released 2007.
I did know that. It's as old as me.
Is it? Really?
17.
Wow. Directed by Ash Brannon and Chris Buck. It's got kind of a stacked cast. For no reason.
Yeah.
Like, Shia LaBeouf is the main guy.
Didn't he have some, really awful scandal?
Something like that. I don't know exactly what happened, but, something weird came out about him.
Oops.
But it's chill.
It's okay.
I don't know. I liked him in Peanut Butter Falcon. If you're familiar, he plays he's a guy and he meets a dude with Down syndrome and they go on an adventure.
It's very heartwarming.
It's very heartwarming. Jeff Bridges is in it too. I don't know if you've seen The Big Lebowski, but he's kind of playing the dude again.
So I'm actually an imposter here and I don't actually watch movies, but I like this movie.
That's chill. And so you requested this movie.
I did.
May I ask why this movie?
I think there's a lot to say about it because it's a kid's movie, but it's also, there's so many weird jokes that make it seem like it's meant to be
not a kid's movie.
Right. And it's this weird kind of humor where it's they kind of set up every single joke.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain that. There's probably a word for it. But I was just you know what? Penguin surfing? Yeah.
Why not? No, it's just such an out there, just genuinely absurd concept.
Right.
I doubt they were sober when they came up with it.
No. I mean, Chicken Joe.
You have him on your Chromebook.
I do.
It's played by John Heder, known as Napoleon Dynamite.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. I have seen that movie.
You have seen Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I didn't see all of it, but I understand the concept.
Yeah. Chicken Joe is so awesome.
I also have a flag of him in my room.
Oh, really?
Bed. Yeah.
That's great.
I love Chicken Joe.
He's just a chill guy. He's having a good time.
He's very unserious, and
Mm-hmm.
I think actually there's multiple captions on my Instagram, or at least my Finsta, that are just Chicken Joe quotes.
That's really funny. Yeah, in a movie where just the concept is genuinely just unhinged, his subplot is somehow even more unhinged.
Yeah,
he's going around looking for Cody, and
we've known each other way back since, I don't know, yesterday.
And he's looking for him, and he meets he's going out on the island. And he meets the native penguins, I guess, who speak a different language, and they try to cook him, but it doesn't work.
No, how about the one thing where he feeds everyone the squid? He's what does it taste like? They're it tastes like
tastes like chicken.
And then he's what do you mean?
What tastes like what? Finish it. No, it's so.
He's so unreal, and I actually know a guy who's almost the embodiment of him.
Really?
He's probably the worst person I've ever met.
Oh.
Actually.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but he kind of looks like a chicken too. All love. But yeah, that was.
Does he do the walk too? Because Chicken Joe has kind of a.
He does.
A walk.
I've definitely paid attention to the movie, but I also only partially see it when I watch it now because I know it by
because you know it's so how many times, if you had to estimate?
I had a tally last year on my, I had a little tally. It was 28 times last year.
In 1 year?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was pretty devoted.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I didn't feel like keeping the tallies because I got a little bored, but.
And what do you think it is that keeps you coming back to Surf's Up 28 times in one year.
I'm a person of habit, and, I feel like there's always something that I just missed. Like, even when watching, I don't remember what it was, but I definitely missed something.
Right.
And, like, I figured it out when I was watching it this week.
What was that?
I literally could not tell you.
Okay.
I was like, wait, that's new. I never got that joke.
Yeah.
Oops.
And I should probably explain. So, Surf's Up is a movie about penguin. It's animated, but it's documentary style.
That's the other thing.
It's filmed like a documentary, and which is cool. It's unique, and it's about penguins that surf, and that's the concept.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm really great at this, and there's Big Z.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, died, and everyone was really sad. And Cody, the main character, was all like, I'm gonna be just like him.
He needs to prove to his family and everyone at his home of Shiverpool that he can do it. Shiverpool made me crack up. That's such a good name.
Or it takes a real man to sit on an egg.
Yes.
Just like, I can't.
It's a funny movie. It's very
also
just silly.
The soundtrack.
Yeah, let's talk about the soundtrack. Why is it so good?
I don't know, but
like Green Day?
There's multiple Green Day songs. They have 311 in there. Pearl Jam and 311 wrote, like, specific things for it.
Really?
Yeah, background tracks for, like, the actual surfing competition when they're, like, sliding through the things with Lonnie. They're, like, I don't want to say, like, surfing, but they're, like, riding the leaves.
Oh.
Like the volcano.
Yeah, like, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Sledding?
Yeah,
kind of.
and then they have Incubus.
And
there's so many, it's so, like, all kind of, like, post-punk almost, but also, like, 90s, so it's very surf. And I was like, you know what? Fire. It's a random gem.
It really is. Like, I don't know where this movie has been for, like, the first 18 years of my life. I mean, for the first year, it was not there.
Well, yeah.
But the next 17 years, it took me so long to watch this, and it's such a banger.
I told you. I was like, you should watch it, and you were like, meh.
It lives up to the hype. I'm very glad you put me on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much to love about it. I mean, just humor-wise, character-wise, the characters make this movie. I like immediately fell in love with the douchebag that is Tank Evans.
Oh my god!
Played by the wonderful Diedrich Bader, who played Batman in Batman: The Brave and the Bold.
See, I never knew there was such like a specific cast. The more I know.
Yeah.
The more you know.
What were you gonna say? I kind of cut you off. I apologize.
I didn't realize for a long time that the TikTok sound came out of that movie. There's like a couple ones that like...
These are my ladies. Is
yes!
that the one? Yeah.
And then when his mom yells at him, he's like, Tech!
I'm talking to my friends!
It's things like that remind you they're supposed to be like teenagers.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh.
And like the whole movie is full of these like very real interactions.
Right.
Like this very real... Apparently most of the like interview talking head scenes were improvised, just to give it more of that real feel, which I feel like you can kind of get a sense of that, especially with the ones of the kids, the little baby penguins, who are so adorable. They're just so silly. Yeah. Like, you can kind of tell they literally just asked them, like, what is a winner? And they're going, a winner is not Tank Evans. Or they told them to say, like, not Tank Evans.
Someone who doesn't take my surfboard and break it.
Yeah.
They're like talking about their surfboard, and they're like, I have the palm tree one. It's really great, and then it breaks, and you're just...
Yeah.
I think the one kid's Arnold. He keeps drowning.
Yes, he keeps, like
no
throwing
brain
himself. He's genuinely just
the amount of just,
hazard.
like, ironic stuff happening. Like, she's like, oh, I have a perfect record, and Arnold's drowning. Or,
yeah.
Like, there's so many other examples.
No, I took a few notes about that. Like, there are a lot of scenes where Cody will be talking in, like, an interview. Like, the initial one, he's talking about meeting Big Z. He could have gone up to anyone, and he goes up to me. And then the video, it juxtaposes this with something entirely different, because he's, like, pushing people out of his way to meet him. It's a one-of-a-kind necklace, but in the video, he's taking it from a row of identical necklaces. Right. Just stuff like that. It's going to be the most awesome wave, and then he wipes out.
Okay, my biggest question is, like, how are the penguins watching the competition on TV?
I don't know, because, like, it's implied that it's a camera crew, right? And they have a boom mic and stuff, but at the same time, like, they don't have actual, like, technology.
I also like how it's, like, I don't remember the acronym specifically, but it's, like, ESPEN.
Yeah, yeah.
But the P is penguin surfing.
Yeah. It's Spen or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but it's something funny like that, and just all these like pop culture sort of nods.
I think I know some of the surfer people. They might be nods to like actual surfers. I don't remember.
I was wondering about that. Like, I'm not too familiar with surfer like culture,
Me either.
unfortunately. But I am, especially in the scene where Big Z is talking about like being in the tunnel of a wave.
Yeah.
And like then it has other penguins talking about being in there.
Right.
I was wondering if it felt very like genuine and real.
Yeah.
So I'm almost wondering if that was just actual surfers talking about that.
You know what else was in the movie?
What's that?
Dirty Heads. Stand Tall. I've seen them play live before, and they're like crappy white reggae. But that's another one that like. That's the one where he's building his surfboard.
Yeah.
And he's like doing whatever.
That was a good scene.
The scene where Big Z and him are kind of fighting over the surfboard. He's like, "Will you just let me do it?"
Mm-hmm. Long, smooth strokes.
It's just like, "Will you just? I don't have any finesse when you're watching me, or like when you're doing something."
It's so good.
17-year-old crash out.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And like I feel like a lot of us know somebody like Cody, or are somebody like
arrogant.
Cody. He's very arrogant. He thinks a lot of him. Like he has something to prove to himself and to everybody else. And I mean, the whole lesson of the movie is like not taking it so seriously and just having fun, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they're constantly telling him, like, just have fun, don't worry about it. And he's like, okay, but how many points can I get from this?
You know what never really made sense to me? I never really understood, like, the plot point where they're, like, sitting by the fire and he's like, "You're gonna come watch me surf, right?" And then they get mad and they're mad at him. Like, I didn't really understand what he did.
Yeah, I don't get it either, to be honest with you.
I was like, wait, what'd he do?
Right, yeah, no, it felt like there was supposed to be more going on, especially, like, towards the end where,
right.
What's her face, the lifeguard chick? Lonnie, played by Zooey Deschanel. Have you seen Elf?
Oh, is she the elf?
She's
the girl elf?
What's her face? And, I've seen...
I see it every year.
Me too. I'm disappointed in myself. She was in 500 Days of Summer.
She's the blonde one?
Blonde one. She was the blonde in Elf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's her.
Yeah.
Oh, so the cast really is, like...
It's stacked for no reason. But anyway, she, like, blows up at Cody.
Right.
For, like, oh, you care more about this than about us. Which is kind of like... It felt like this plot point that sort of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if there was supposed to be more, like, in the script. And they just didn't have time. But I don't know. Parts felt rushed. Overall, I loved the movie.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a kid's movie, but it's not a kid's movie because it's like so many references.
I mean, yeah,
so I feel
like the scene. I mean, he pulls the thingy from the urchin out of his foot, and then he pees on the foot, which was insane. I'm like, no way, they're actually about to do this, and then they do it.
Oh god.
What else was it? There was one where
Chicken Joe's a stoner.
Chicken Joe is a stoner.
Yeah, he's absolutely. They're like. Maybe they have the munchies, like, or he's like, I know he's out here somewhere. I feel it in my nuggets. Like, you know what he wanted to say. Like, How about both of their parents being dead and Chicken Bob?
Oh my gosh! No, those were such good. I love the visual gags in this movie. They made me laugh both times. They're both named Bob, right? Both of the fathers.
I think.
I think I wrote it down. Yeah, Bob Maverick and Bob Chicken Bob.
I never noticed that.
But they're talking about how they lost the father, and it's this picture of him with a fish, and then like it zooms out, and it's just a killer whale. Its maw wide open, about to devour him.
I'm not the only kid on the island whose dad was, eaten. Like, what?
And then, Chicken Joe, he's talking about his dad. It's just a picture of. Chicken Bob, and then it zooms out, and it's on a bucket of, like, KFC.
It's like a 4 count.
And then it says, in parentheses, like, 6-piece combo. Like, that's genuinely so funny.
There's also, like, other things, like, when he does get the sea urchin in his foot, then it's, like, dancing on, like, stepped on me. He was dancing on me.
The sea urchin.
Right, it's, like, little things like that. They didn't have to include it, but it's, like...
But it's silly. It's funny, and I'm glad they did.
Right.
I do wonder if the documentary crew was supposed to be, like, people, like, even though they were on, like, eye level with all the characters. But, like, I feel like it was maybe supposed to be a nod to, or a parody of, like, the Penguin documentaries of the early 2000s. Like, there was one I saw way back that came out around that time period, probably. But, I don't know, that's, like, the only possible explanation I can think of for why are they penguins? Why are they surfing? Why is it a documentary?
Yeah, why is it a documentary? Like, I never understood. I think it makes it easy to kind of frame it like that.
Yeah, like, you get a good look at all the characters' thoughts and stuff.
But I feel like it would go to a documentary in really random parts.
Yeah.
Like, the framing when they were introducing Z, like,
Yeah. Whereas other times it's like, there are a few moments where it just becomes a movie.
Yeah.
But you know, it's fine. It's whatever. Like, it's not that deep.
Again, that's the entire moral of the movie.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
I feel like in a way it's a coming of age movie for Cody.
Oh, it 100% is.
Which, I hate that word. I think it's weird. I think it's like, coming of age movie. When it's really just like penguins.
Right.
So, why is Chicken Joe from Lake Michigan?
Sheboygan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like they just tried to think of, like, whatever random place. And they're like, let's put him here.
Where's the place with water?
Yeah.
And I love it's like, no one else in my town did it. And it's like a bunch of rubber ducks.
Yeah, right. You know what I realized when I was thinking about this movie last night? So the whole movie's about, like, learning to have fun rather than focusing on winning and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Who's the character that's focusing on having fun? He's not there for winning. He's not there for glory. He's just there to have a good time. Chicken Joe. And who wins?
Chicken Joe.
Chicken Joe.
That's not, wait.
So, like, he gets the reward because he's just there to have a good time. He doesn't even register that he won.
I won?
Yeah. Which is that his last line in the movie too?
I think so.
I think it is.
I love how his first line is they're like, I think it's either you gotta try the blowhole, or it's like, he's like, like, I'm Cody, like, Shiverpool, and he's like, no, I'm not from Shiverpool. It's just like, no. What do you mean?
It's so funny. I liked the Jewish penguins in Shiverpool. They're going.
Oh, they were.
They felt Jewish.
Yeah,
they were
Jewish.
Jewish.
It did feel like a little.
Oh, I liked the censor blur over what's his name's privates when he got out of the bath, even though everybody in the movie is naked.
Reggie.
The otter, Reggie.
I never knew he was an otter.
I thought he was a beaver, but I was looking at the movie thing last night, and it said he was an otter.
Oh,
so
he's like the worst character. I like that he ends up being bald.
He kind of sucks. Yeah. Played by James Woods. I don't know what James Woods has been in.
Is he another relevant person?
He's
So like
you know what? I saw him in Family Guy.
Oh.
Yeah. A role model, no, but I do consider myself somebody that everyone should look up to. I love Tank. I love him so much. He's so evil.
He's so, like, I can't. He's not real.
He's not, no.
How old is he supposed to be if he's, like, surfing at the same time as Big Z?
I don't know.
Because it's not really
Well,
said.
he was, like, a young up-and-comer when Big Z, quote-unquote, died.
The Boneyards.
The Boneyards.
That's gotta be a reference to, like, Pangu Island has to be a reference to some, like, surfing place.
I'm sure of it. I'd love to hear insight from, like, someone with extensive surfing lore knowledge.
Right. It's funny, because the person I mentioned earlier that I said was Chicken Joe, they surf. They forgot to tell me. But,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not asking them, though.
Yeah, because they're terrible.
Yeah.
There's another juxtaposition moment between, like, what Cody's saying and what's actually happening. So he's going, it's going to be the best. It's before he goes up against Tank, I think, one-on-one.
Oh, the wave.
It's going to be the best wave of my life. I hope the cameras are watching because you're going to watch it over and over and over. It's going to be awesome. And then he wipes out. But we do get to see it over and over and over and over.
God. That's, like, the kind of thing that I'm talking about with the amount of irony in the movie.
Yeah.
It's, like, just irony after
love
irony
all the
after
irony. It's really great.
And I think in a sense that's why I was like, yeah, this is a fire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Best movie ever.
No, there definitely is, like, it's not a stupid movie. I mean, it's kind of it's silly, but it's not stupid. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there is something to look at on a deeper level than the surface, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no, like, Godfather 2 or whatever, but, like, it doesn't have to be.
They just wanted to animate some penguins.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I didn't even think about this until afterwards, but the animation is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, water, just first of all, is really hard to do. Especially in 2007.
Oh god, yeah, 2007 was not.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
As an art person, seeing that, it's like, what the heck? How did you, like, first off, who was like, yeah, penguins, surfing, chicken.
Yes, let's put a chicken in there.
And
Why
then
not?
otter and some random distraught bird.
What was that random bird? Yeah. What was that guy?
It was like, I am on so much migraine medication.
Yeah.
I thought I was a woman at first, but I think it's a dude. I think the bird's a dude.
I was not sure. I'm still not sure.
I think it's a dude. Because they call it a he.
Okay.
It's
probably a dude.
very androgynous. I don't know. But, like, who was like, yeah, they're going to surf, and there's just going to be this other penguin, and it's going to be great. And we're going to make it, like, a really good soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be perfect. And then apparently a loaded cast list. We're going to get all these people to do it.
Oh, yeah.
How do you think they convinced them to do that?
I do not know. Big paycheck, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know how much people made from that.
I have no idea. Apparently a lot of the voice actors recorded their lines in the same studio, like, together, instead of, like, recording them separately, which I guess is unusual.
Really?
Yeah, because I guess, I mean, they probably wanted, like, a more realistic dialogue feel with the more documentary type thing. And I think it worked. Like, a lot of the interactions and exchanges feel very just real.
Yeah. There's also the one, like, the jokes between Cody and Lonnie always entertain me. Because it's like, he's like, oh man, I'm in love. And Chicken Joe's like, oh, like, she called you crap. Like, she's totally into you. And then he's just like, Or they're, like, in the shower together.
Yeah,
What was that? This is a kid's movie.
Right. What, like, you can say whatever you want, we're in the shower together. I don't know, what's happening? What is even happening here? How intimate is it supposed to be? Because they're always naked. They're penguins. They're penguins.
They can't shower together.
They don't wear clothes.
It's also, like, she's like, do you want to go do something really, really fun? He's like, oh, like, should I get a mint or whatever? And she's like, I don't know. Like, I didn't
even catch that. Oh my god.
That's, like, one of the details that I had to watch it over and over again and get. And then I was like, oh.
That's crazy.
They said that. Anyways, but whose thought was this? Who was like, yeah, I'm gonna do all of this?
I don't know. I cannot imagine something like this being made today, because it's so, like, out there. And
right.
I'd say risky. And, like, you know, studios are so averse to taking risks now.
Really?
I mean, yeah. Even look at Pixar. Everything they make is a sequel now. They just announced Coco 2.
Oh.
Which, I mean, Coco's a banger, but, like, it doesn't need a sequel.
They're also putting, like, live action stuff.
Yeah, Snow White just came out. That's supposed to be bad.
Oh. Great.
Yeah.
And everyone's mad about Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's just a hard movie to make live action.
Yeah, and that's, like, a recent one, too.
Yeah.
Which they're doing Moana as well.
What?
Yeah, live action Moana's in the works.
Why do we need to make animation not existence?
Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's sad.
Okay, I've always had this opinion that animation, like the older Disney movies and like older Pixar movies, not so much. Like Up was fine, whatever. But like the older Disney movies, their animation was a lot cooler, like Aristocats.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that.
But like the animation in Surf's Up is so reminiscent to the animation in like Moana or newer things, and so like I think that's the point I was trying to make when I was talking about, like, who thought of this and was like, yeah, let's make it like, that's gotta be a good budget.
Yeah, no, I guess, like, the movie almost didn't get made because it was so hard to do water at the time. Like, the technology was just not there.
How
but I
sad would
mean,
it
they
be?
did it. We wouldn't even know what we were missing. That would be tragic.
Really interesting to me is that Chicken Joe is like a staple to a lot of frat bros now too.
Really?
Yeah, like the only reason I know this movie is because I would hang out with a lot of people who were like upperclassmen last year, and they were like kind of whatever, and it's just a bunch of white boys that are like, I'm gonna do a bunch of things I shouldn't, and I'm gonna watch this movie because it's funny.
That's awesome.
So it's like, okay.
No, it's so weird because it's a kids movie, but it very much has like the feel of a stoner movie too. Like,
yeah.
Like up there along the likes of like Dazed and Confused or...
Actually, that's really funny, because when I was like, hey mom, I'm doing a podcast with one of my friends, and he does movies, and she was like, oh, what are you doing, Dazed and Confused? And I was like, no.
I'd love to do a Dazed podcast at some point.
I haven't seen that movie.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
Didn't you do like one of your...
Comparative study
Yeah.
was on Dazed and Confused, yeah.
It has that... Surf's Up is very similar in the sense that it has that feel of you're just like doing something to do something.
Yeah, it's almost... I mean, this has more of a plot.
Yeah.
More like it has a conflict and all that and character development. But like they both almost have sort of a slice of life type feel. I don't know, where you're just getting a look at all these characters in their lives.
Right. I don't know why I couldn't stop watching the movie. I remember being like really upset too. Like I just kept watching the movie when I was sad and it made me feel better.
Aww.
And I was like, oh yay! It's like, this is the stupidest movie ever.
So it's got kind of that comfort movie type. I can see that.
It's a banger, and
it's a banger.
I feel like it's underrated.
I think it is. Like, I feel like most people I know haven't seen this movie. I'd never seen this movie. My family's never seen this movie.
I don't remember it being advertised.
It probably wasn't. I mean, you were...
Well, yeah, but like...
You haven't seen the sequel, have you?
No.
Yeah.
I just found out there was a sequel this week, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently it came out 10 years later. John Cena's in it. It's got horrible reviews.
Oh no! What are the reviews on the original Surf's Up?
Not bad. It
Really?
depends where you look. Sir, I'm curious now. Actually, Surf's Up. Let's see, 6.7 out of 10 IMDb, 79% Rotten Tomatoes.
Ugh, don't mention that around me.
The History Project.
God.
Letterboxd. I trust Letterboxd more, to be honest. Let's see.
I don't really know how those things work. Like, who rates movies?
Letterboxd rates it 3.7 out of 5.
It deserved better than that.
Yeah.
Justice.
Although it has a lot of 5-star reviews.
Really?
Yeah. Like, look at that.
What is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's fascinating. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the movie might not be for everybody.
No.
But I can't imagine, like, straight up not liking it.
Yeah, I made a lot of people watch it with me.
Really?
Because, you know, if anyone mentions this movie, I'm like, Surf's Up.
Surf's Up.
You know how long I was like, do an episode on Surf's Up.
Uh-huh.
Do it.
Which we've been talking about doing this episode for, like, months. And we finally had a time where we're like, it can happen. Yeah.
I also felt like I wasn't in a space yet where I was like, yeah, let's do that. we need to be more of writing center buddies, you know, conference buddies.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to get comfortable with speaking.
Mm-hmm. We got there.
It's all good.
It's all
Now
good,
we're
man.
here.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
I could not tell.
You show this movie to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, like I would show it to my friends. I made one of my friends, now boyfriend, watch it on the plane back from like when we went to Disney, because that's like the peak of when I liked it, and I have never shown him the end of the movie because the plane landed and we went home, and he doesn't know what happens at the end.
Oh no.
So.
I'd be in such suspense. I can't imagine.
It's been a year.
Oh, I mean, at that point, just start it over.
Maybe I'll make him watch it.
Maybe you should.
I should. Later today, I'll be like, you know what we're doing?
Watching Surf's
Didn't
Up.
talk about it enough.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't see it enough this week.
And then we're watching the Pulp Diction podcast about it, featuring me.
Then we're gonna some deep analysis on it. English, IB English.
Yeah, I'm gonna expect an essay on my desk. 500 words minimum.
What would I even write about that? Like, how could you write like a film essay about this movie?
Let me see. Okay, so what it uses the directors use the documentary style to illustrate the importance of having fun and enjoying yourself rather than taking life too serious. That's my thesis statement right there.
So in theory, you could do like there's no limit to what you could do your comparative study on, is there? Like you could pick any two movies.
No, but if you do an animated, you have to do another animated.
Oh.
And live action, other live action. But that's like the only. Well, also they have to be from 2 different countries or at least 30 years apart.
Yeah, that was in ours.
Yeah.
I feel like animation doing that would be hard.
Yeah.
So you have to find like a 1970 like
right
1980s.
or like some Russian movie or something. I don't know.
Bro.
Anime.
There's no Russian surfing penguins.
No, unfortunately not. Maybe one day.
I don't know what that would be about. Like, do you want some like communist penguins?
I don't know. What were you gonna say? Like a comparative study should be with this movie.
I don't
like
know
Happy
what I would
Feet?
compare. You know, that is something to talk about. Why were there so many penguin movies? Is it that penguin documentary thing?
It could have been, but like that Happy Feet wasn't a mockumentary, was it? I haven't seen it in so long.
I don't remember.
But yeah,
there's also like Ice Age, and that
Ice
was
Age.
very...
That didn't have penguins, did it?
Right, but it was still like.
But it has that Arctic sort of thing. Yeah. What
were the other movies of that time?
I don't know. 2007 movies.
I feel like it's like Ice Age, Happy Feet.
Oh, There Will Be Blood.
I just got a text, and I was told that to not listen to Reed, and that he doesn't own someone, and that ownership will be returned to me, and that I don't have to pay him.
What?
So basically, I'm trying to buy someone back from one of my friends, apparently.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. I felt the need to share that.
Okay. I don't think you can buy people anymore, Alannah.
That's what they tell me, but I keep trying to sell him to his friends, and they won't budge.
They're not biting the...
I said $10, and they offered me $5 and 3 toothpicks.
3 toothpicks?
Yeah, I was like, wow. I don't bargain with broke people.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Standing on business.
Yeah.
Very
$10
nice.
is 3 Baja Blasts. $5 is only 1.
Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good measurement.
Yeah,
of, like,
that's how I measure worth. It's like the how many camels are you worth thing.
What?
You've never been on that website where you find out how many camels you're worth?
No.
What?
How many? Hold on. How many camels? Camel calculator.
Let's figure out how many camels we're worth.
Here you can calculate how many camels your girlfriend or boyfriend is worth.
Just calculate like a girlfriend or something, or like yourself.
I'll do myself. Age, 18. Height.
Height in centimeters?
Centimeter? I don't use centimeters. What am I, a communist?
Communist penguins.
Well, okay, what's 6'1" in centimeters?
Ugh, how dare you.
185.42. This is an awesome detour. Hair color, brown. Hair length, I'd say my hair is short. 69 camels.
It doesn't let me do my height low enough in centimeters. So I guess I'm 140.
I guess so.
How many were you worth?
How many camels am I worth?
Yeah.
69.
I'm 62.
Oh,
no!
I'm worth 7 more camels than you.
It's because I couldn't put my actual height in there. I was like 4 inches off.
Oh.
It only said I could do 140 centimeters. I'm 6 off. Jeez. It's really disappointing. Camel calculator can't be accurate. You
that
never
sucks. Know. What? How do you know what? I don't understand what this measurement unit is. Do you know why this?
No.
Okay. That's really interesting. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I feel so educated. Like I was put onto Surf's Up. Now I've been put onto the camel calculator.
You should just start like TOK discussion. How many camels are you worth?
Yes.
Should be your extended essay.
It should have been. It would be if I hadn't submitted it already. That's really unfortunate.
Camel calculator is a fun modern take on an old Middle Eastern tradition of measuring worth in camels. It's likely a side project created by someone who found an outdated website on the topic and wanted to create a more modern and mobile-friendly version.
Okay, interesting.
So people used to trade people for camels, basically.
Oh, that's lovely.
So, like, you would be worth more on the camel black market.
That's great.
I don't know what the technicalities are.
That's really wonderful.
Oh, it was made by a German man.
Great. Yeah, the Germans, they have a long history with bad things, I guess.
Trading people for camels now,
Trading
too.
people for camels, apparently. They don't have a good record. Those Germans, I tell you what. So did you, like, realize immediately that the geek was Big Z?
No.
No?
No, I'm disappointed to say I didn't realize it until, like,
yeah,
they told me.
I didn't realize for a bit either.
It's really obvious if you watch it back.
It kind of is. But it's cool. I think Jeff Bridges does a great job in that role.
I think the camera, or, like, the recorder probably picked up on that.
The cracking knuckles?
Oops.
It's fine. Yeah, Jeff Bridges does great. The Big Lebowski's a wonderful movie, and he's basically playing the dude again. Just a chill guy.
He just wants his clams.
Yeah, he just wants his clams, man. And, you know, I don't know. I like him. I like the geek a lot.
He's kind of awkward in the beginning. He's like, do you want to make a board?
Yeah.
And I could, like, hear him breathing in the, like, camera almost, and I was like, why does this movie seem like it's gonna take a turn?
Right. I like all the times he winks at the camera.
He
like,
does?
Yeah, like, before he does something, like, silly to, Cody. Like, he trolls Cody.
Oh my god,
like,
when he had, like, the cucumber, she's like, I think I'm starting to see
like,
it, man.
that's one of the times he winks at him, I think. And just all these really funny moments. They had a lot of personality to him. Yeah. I mean, look, next time you watch it.
I will be watching it again.
Watch it with your boyfriend. Look for all the winks. Yeah.
Like, you have to pay attention. There's so many details.
I know. It's cinema. It's cinema.
It's like the one thing. It's like, you can't just watch a movie. If that's, like, the movie, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to explain everything to you. I'll be like, you never knew.
You never knew. Tank just takes, like, a squid on a stick or something. He goes, Tank needs fuel.
And he just takes it from the kids.
Yeah.
Or something.
The kids are so great. I love the kids.
They're so tiny and they're just
they're just cute little penguins.
They make such, like, juvenile jokes too to add to the movie, and I feel like that's part of why it's kept as a kids movie. Like, all the jokes are very, like, they're not all like, we're in the shower and I have the munchies. It's like, he's a dirty trash can. Yeah,
right. I'm like, that feels like something, like, I would have eaten that quote up when I was a kid. I'm kind of sad I didn't see this when I was a kid, because I would have thought it was the best thing ever. Not that it's not the best thing ever.
I think you could still use that.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but it's a little corny.
I feel like we're at an age now, if you had done it in, like, freshman or sophomore year, it would have been fine. But if you do it in senior year in the correct delivery, I think it would land.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right.
Right, I feel like we're at an age now
where
it's...
You're a dirty trash can.
They'd, like... Imagine someone's, like, having a serious conversation with you and they're, like, actually mad at you and just... You're a dirty trash can. I can't.
No, that would be pretty funny, actually.
Or there's, like, the kid... And they're like, who taught you to surf? And they're like, I learned from Big Z. And they're like, you weren't alive. And they were like, oh. Yeah.
No, that's very much like a thing a kid would say.
Right.
Like, I learned from blah, 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 but you weren't alive. Oh, okay.
Did they actually have kids? Like,
I'm sure they did. I wonder if they got some of the producers' kids or something to do it. That would be really, really funny.
Is it like another Brick in the Wall part 2 where they have, like, the actual kids and they're like,
we don't need no education.
No education. I thought about putting that on my grad cap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what to do for it anymore, honestly.
I have no idea. I'll keep thinking.
Yeah.
I'll ponder.
Actually reminds me, I was gonna the fish hallway for IB, we get to paint something on it.
That's right.
I think I'm gonna put penguins. There's no penguins.
Oh.
I'm gonna put the kind of penguin.
Are you gonna give him a surfboard?
I kind of want to, but I might get in trouble. But also,
why would you get in trouble?
Because we have to get like our sketch approved, but there's also a lot of movie references.
I feel like
like there's
I feel like you
submarine.
I feel like you could get away with that.
She looked at me funny when I said I wanted to do penguins. She was like, "That's not an ocean animal," and I was like,
"Do a chicken."
That's where it would get bad. She'd be like, "You're not putting a chicken." She's very defensive over that wall.
No, I feel like you could, if you really fought for it, you could at least get away with a penguin.
We're putting a penguin.
You're getting.
There's going to be a couple penguins. She's not going to be like, "No, you can't do a new animal in the fish hallway." There's too many. She won't let anyone do an octopus anymore.
Really?
There's too many.
Oh yeah, true.
Right, but there's like the Moana, like the little hearted Tafiti.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like that's one. There's Finding Nemo. The goggles are there. But like I don't want to do some just like boring fish. Like I want to do a penguin.
A penguin. Do a penguin. Do whatever your heart desires. You know.
Or what I could do, honestly, is you just sign your name. And Gracie Strickland did hers last year, and she like did hers in the shape of a fish. I think I could make like a little surfboard.
That's kind of fun.
I could do the Big Z Shrine and put my name on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little nod to Surf's Up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could get away with the chicken though.
Yeah, probably not.
Put the sea urchin.
The sea urcin. That would be funny. Do your name like the text at the bottom, like the documentary.
Oh.
That would be funny. What else?
The Fortnite backpack.
What? Oh, that's actually Eric's, and I borrowed it for like the first month of school. But then my backpack got too large to I couldn't fit all the stuff, so I stopped using.
Doesn't he have a YouTube channel?
He does. He doesn't like to talk about it, but I can talk about it because I don't care. And also nobody actually. Oh, a few people actually watch this.
Really?
Yeah. I have fans.
Uh-huh.
I have fans. Connor Smith, namely.
Really?
Last week's guest, actually, Connor Smith.
What did you talk about?
Invincible.
What's that?
It's a superhero show.
Yeah,
Season 3 aired last week.
Oh.
It's a wonderful show.
Really?
It's like the best.
Oh.
It's great. Animated. Very violent.
Oh.
Very cool. Very cool.
Do you think you're gonna keep podcasting through college?
I'd like to. Like, I feel like one of the unexpected side effects of this has been like being able to keep in touch with people I wasn't sure I'd keep in touch with.
Right.
Because last year in my biology class, Christian Gardner was our TA, right?
Really?
And he comes back. He graduated, obviously.
Yeah.
He comes back for Thanksgiving break, and he texts me, "Hey, can I be on a podcast? And can we talk about Terrifier?" I'm like, hell yeah, we can talk about Terrifier on the podcast. Let's do it. So I have Christian Gardner in my room, and we're talking about the Terrifier movies, and it's great. And I never expected to have like a conversation with him again after he graduated, and I'm so glad I did.
Right, because you get that connection.
Yeah, and I really hope I can keep in touch with a lot of people from high school. I mean, because I'm gonna miss people, you know.
If life is going how I think it's going, and you end up at tech, and I end up at tech,
could be moose. Could be fun. Yeah, I'm sure I will have plenty of tech people if I go to tech.
True. I don't even know why you started doing this.
I started doing it for an IB project. So everyone had to do a CAS project. CAS is creativity, activity, or service. Mm-hmm. So I had to do something creative. I had to do something active, like sport stuff, which I'm obviously not. It's not my bread and butter.
It's okay. You're great at dancing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Or I had to do something service related. And it has to be something I organized, like an event or a project.
So it's like Girl Scouts.
Sure.
IB Girl Scouts.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And a lot of people organized like a football camp or something. Some people organized a community service event, like a donation or whatever. Yeah. And I did a creativity thing, which was a film podcast. So I could have stopped a while ago, actually. definitely filled the requirement for, like, how much time I've put into it.
Right.
But, like, I really enjoy it, so I'm still doing it.
And I feel like a lot of people are really excited about it. They're like, yeah, I want to be on your podcast.
Yeah, no, I've been surprised. Like, I didn't expect anyone to watch it, let alone, like, actually want to be on it without me asking them to be on it.
Right.
But people have asked me, let's do a Pulp Diction. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. I'll put you on the list. And I have, like, so many people on my list right now that I have to get through.
What are some of the most surprising names you feel?
Well, I mentioned Christian.
Yeah.
Who else have I had on and has asked to be on? JT has asked to be on. Oh. Jackson Taylor. I think Carl mentioned it. Who else has said something? I don't know. One dude I'd never seen in my life. Oh. So I'm sitting at a lunch table with some of my friends that I don't usually sit with at lunch. And there's this one dude there. I've never seen him. I've never talked to him.
Right.
And at one point he just looks up at me. He goes, "So what's it take to get on Pulp Diction?" I'm like, "What? What?
How did you know?
What? Who are you?" I'm like, generally you can just, like, ask and you all will figure something out. Like, DM me or something. I don't know. I had Gabriella Tazalar on. Yeah, that surprised me because we've never really, like, talked. But that was a fun one. I enjoyed that.
What you talk about?
As Above, So Below. It's like this, it's also in sort of a mockumentary style. Oh. It's a horror movie. These people go down and, so, hidden camera, found footage. Found footage is what it's called. They go down, like Blair Witch.
Yeah. I've seen that movie.
I've not.
I've actually seen that movie!
But they go down into, like, the French catacombs.
Yeah.
And they basically, like, descend into hell. And it's a whole thing. It's cool. It's a fun movie. But yeah, I like this. I like doing this. I hope to continue it for a while.
Right.
What else happens in Surf's Up?
I feel like I keep getting off on tangents.
No, it's all good. Like, this happens all the time, and it's great. It fills up the time. How much time have we? Oh, we've been at it for a decent while.
I feel like there's just not enough to say. Like, the movie's great.
It's obviously great, but, like, you can only go so far into it.
Because it's a kid's movie, and it's, like, there's a point to it, but it's also, like...
It's kind of, like, surface. As cool as it is, like, it is a good message, and they do, like, really hammer it in.
Right.
I liked how... So, the entire movie, like, obviously, people are telling Cody, like, to let go or to just relax or whatever, right. Stop overthinking it. And when at the final, like, contest in his first wave... when he finally lets go,
right.
And I didn't even realize it at first, but his necklace is gone.
Oh.
And, like, there's a moment where, a few minutes later, where he feels his chest, like, for his necklace, and it's just not there.
I never noticed that.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's kind of, like, representative of him, like,
right.
I mean, he's letting go. He's not clinging on to these past, this whatever anymore. I don't know. Yeah, he's learning to relax, to take it easy,
right.
Take it as it goes.
I actually found it so, like, dramatic and kind of sad when he's, like, talking and he's, like, paddling into that wave. Like, that day that they're doing the surfing contest is so somber and yucky, and he's just, like, it's the people telling him that it'll never be anything.
Yeah.
And it's, like, you kind of understand why he feels the way he does when he's, like,
100%.
like, Cody's me, bro, let me be me. Like, that's another thing that people quote a lot.
Right.
It's like, Cody's just this, Cody's just a bum. Cody's me, bro, let me be me.
That's very real. Like,
right.
This kind of, I don't know, all these expectations of somebody, right. I guess, and wanting to shove those off or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, these are despite being penguins, these are very human characters.
This is what, like, that's the thing I was thinking about. They all take on this very human kind of whatever, like, they're sorting their fish, they have these jobs, it takes a real man to sit on an egg, like, she's making tuna casserole, but really she's just feeding them like a bird, and they're, like, fighting over it, and, like, they have this, like, the brother bond. Did you watch far enough to see the clip at the very end?
Was there like an end credit scene?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
It was Cody's mom and his brother, and they're like sitting there, and she's like, "Oh, well, we're just so proud of him. Like, we can't wait for him to come back and see his big trophy."
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
And then she's like, "Glenn, you should try to be more like your brother."
Yes. This interview's over. No, that was great. I mean, he's going on, "Oh, he didn't even win. What a loser, blah, blah, blah."
Right.
And, again, this theme of winning isn't everything.
Right.
And then and the mom says, "I wish you were more like your brother."
Which is so ironic, because she was so, like...
That's, like, the most hard-hitting thing she possibly could have said to him.
Right. The other thing is, like, he's like, they're like, "Oh, like, what's your dream?" He's like, to go away. And they're like, ugh, like, having dreams, like,
Going
the Cody
away.
Maverick kid.
Yeah.
Like, they're so, like, judgmental of that, but I think it's interesting how they switch up on him. They're like, "Oh, he's a winner, he did sub, like, we're so proud of him."
Yeah.
And it's like...
That's also very real. Like,
Right.
the second he has some glory or fame.
I don't know. Like, kids' movies aren't supposed to have this, like, super, super deep meaning, which probably makes this hard to analyze, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, not the most, like... It's not gonna be, like, a Pulp Fiction movie where you're, like, analyzing it and you're like,
Layer
"Oh my God,
after
it's
layer
out of
after
order."
layer, yeah.
Right, there's nothing to talk about.
The cinematography is... I mean, it's especially hard to analyze something like
Right.
that with a documentary style.
Right. But it's so, like... There's still hidden messages that I feel like would go over a kid's head like that. Like, that is a very real...
100%. Like, a kid is going to watch this and think, surfing penguins.
Yeah!
Like, we can at least get a little more out of that,
Right.
out of this. Yeah.
It low-key reminded me of Soul Surfer in a way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
haven't seen
I
the
get
movie
that.
in a long time. But
I haven't... Yeah. Did I see it? I feel like I
it's
saw
the one... I feel like
It's the
everyone...
one where the her
the shark.
arm and the shark,
And
yeah.
then she's just like... Dang it.
Dang, guess I'll keep going.
Right.
Yeah. One detail I noticed, Tank has heterochromia, like his eyes are two different colors. I don't know. I don't know why they did that, but it's a very interesting like style choice for the character.
I feel like I see that in a lot of villains in animation.
Heterochromia?
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I wonder what that's about. Jet has that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jet Ekman featured on the Batman episode.
I did see that you did do that episode. I recently watched the Batman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I actually really liked it.
It's
I have
so
a hard
good.
time with film.
Right.
And, like, I can't keep myself focused. But, like, I'm also a big music person, and the Nirvana feature really bothered me when I was first hearing about it, because everyone was making fun of it. But, like, watching it and seeing the comparison between Kurt Cobain and, like, the eyeliner scene and how he was portrayed.
It's used so well in the movie.
Like,
oh my gosh. And they use it twice.
Yeah.
And it's so good both
and everything
times.
just dies and blows up, and I was like, my God. I like how he's a detective instead of, like, a superhero.
Yeah. No, I love that movie so much.
Saw it for the first time. Probably will never watch it fully again.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour movie.
It's the other thing. Surf's Up is pretty short. So
It's very short.
Like, my attention span stays. Maybe that's why
very
I like
digestible.
it. Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's nice. It's
Right.
just a nice little, you can watch it pretty fast, even have it in the background.
Right. That's the other thing. Like, you don't have to be paying, like, super close attention to it to understand what's happening.
Absolutely.
Which is what I said about how, like, I never actually look at what's happening. I'm just, like, there.
Right. Yeah. I think I've gone over all my notes.
Oh, no.
But we also have been at this for 55 minutes.
Hey, that's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, to talk about Surf's Up. I mean, I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to bring up.
I mean, I've brought up pretty crazy points. Camels, Batman.
Camels, Batman. Who's your... I mean, Chicken Joe's your favorite, right? Who's your second favorite?
Definitely Cody. Just because he's, like... I feel like if I identified with a character the most, it would... That was not a sentence. If I identified with a character the most, it would be him. Just because he's so, like... young and, like, kind of in his own world sometimes.
Yeah.
And he's just, like... there. And,
right. Yeah, no, he definitely, like, a lot of the time he's very idealistic. He sees things as, he likes to create these visions of, like,
yeah.
You know, it's going to be great, it's going to be perfection, and then when it inevitably doesn't live up to those unbelievably high expectations he sets, he's disappointed.
Right.
And they kind of use that, like I mentioned earlier, I think, the juxtaposition between what he says and what's actually going on, this sort of expectations versus reality type deal.
I actually never analyzed that in the way you did. I just thought it was like an animation thing, and like that's just how they chose to portray it. But I like the way you're talking about it better. I think it adds to his character a lot more.
I think so. Yeah, and like think about like he's saying the whole like first act of the movie. He wishes Big Z weren't dead. He's his hero. He idolizes this man, and then he finally gets to meet Big Z. And he's like, I hate you. You suck. You're ruining everything for me. Blah, 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 blah.
I think it's really interesting when they do the interview. And he talks about how, like, losing his dad was never hard for him. He's like, nah, man, not me. But in, like, probably the second half of the movie, they're talking. And he was like, you know, it's hard enough to lose one dad, but two. And they're like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, nothing.
Yeah.
And, like, it was kind of like an implied, like...
Like, it bothers him more than he lets on.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, like, Big Z meant a lot to him. And that, like,
Big Z's sort of
really
the father figure that... He takes the place of the father figure.
Right.
Yeah.
There's also that part where he's like, you know, I could tell he was having an emotional moment and let him be. And he's like, you're Big Z!
Yeah. I figured I'd take it easy. That's the most respectful way to go about it. You're Big Z! Why are you not dead? What's going on?
I knew it was a hoax. Like, you saw something you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, like, the thing that everyone wants to think about celebrities, too. They're like Kurt Cobain.
Elvis, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, they're like, Courtney Love killed you.
Yeah. But, like, it's just, it is what it is, you know?
Right. Like, there's not an explanation for everything.
Yeah, it's not always a conspiracy.
There's much deeper little themes going on about it in that, and, like... I don't know. I really appreciate that. There can be more if you try, but you also can't just...
If you really, really try.
Right.
But that's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't need to try all that hard. Just have fun. Enjoy it.
Not everyone needs to be the winner.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, winning isn't everything.
I also think it's really interesting at the end of the movie, he was like, come on, loser. And he was like, I didn't win either. And they're, like, going through the boneyard.
Yeah. But it's not like, come on, loser. It's, come on, loser. Like,
yeah, it's like, it's okay.
Being a loser is not a bad thing.
Right. Still made it to the finals.
It's not a bad thing to lose. You made it to the finals, yeah. And, like...
The way that they turn on Maverick in the end, how they're like, oh, like, Maverick with this new school move, and he's doing all these things, we'll call it the Maverick.
When, like, minutes earlier, he was, like, reviled, and everyone was making fun of him.
Right.
And Tank, too, like, everyone was like... I mean, he's kind of showing, like, what happens to you when you do make winning everything.
Right.
Because when he doesn't win, then he's, like... He tries to steal the trophy, then it breaks, and he's, like, kissing it, trying to put it back together.
He's like, Leah!
No.
Look how he names all his...
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Teresa.
Oh my gosh. My ladies. This is... What was it? I don't know. We all know why we call her... What
I don't know. She's like, this one's dirty girl.
She's a dirty girl. Yeah, it's so wrong.
And then she's like, Tank! Are you polishing your trophies again? Go, Mom!
Is definitely a euphemism, polishing his trophies.
Oh, no. I never thought about that.
Oh, no? Okay,
no.
Maybe I'm just, like, dirty-minded.
Ugh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Can't believe this.
Yeah. Oh, well. And, on that note, I don't know that I have much more to say about this movie.
I don't have much more to say either. It's just silly.
It's a silly movie. I would highly recommend.
I think everyone should watch it.
Everyone should watch it.
It's a very important part of society.
Mm-hmm. Very culturally significant.
Crucial developmental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should try to watch the movie. Should try to be like the movie.
Of course, yeah. It really embodies, serves up, let it change you as a person.
Yeah.
You know, it's very life-changing.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for tuning in to the Pulp Diction podcast.
Thank you for having me and finally indulging my obsession.
No, it was a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Remember to like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit us with a follow on Spotify. Rate 5 stars.
Gotta get that Spotify Wrapped.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were. I think we're almost as big as Joe Rogan now.
Really?
Oh no, not even close. I get like maybe 1 listener an episode. The YouTube views, I get more.
Really?
Yeah, I get like a few hundred sometimes. Anyway.
Oh, that's very exciting, actually.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's always the episodes I don't expect, though. Like, the one with Gabriella blew up for no reason.
Oh.
Well, blew up with a few hundred. But, like, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Anyway, that'll do it. Thank you, viewers/listeners. Thank you, Alannah.
It's been so real.
It has been real.